Adobe Illustrator files are a proprietary format and they cannot be displayed in a web browser. Instead, you must convert your Illustrator files into a compatible file type. Now let's compare the three most common graphic file types supported by web browsers: JPEG, GIF, and Png. We'll start with JPEG. Now this is perhaps the most common graphic file type found on the web today. It is a raster format, meaning that it's made up of hundreds or even tens of thousands of pixels. And these pixels can describe millions of colors, which makes the JPEG format an excellent choice for images and graphics that have subtle color transitions. Now, with all this color information embedded in the file, there may be too much data, which can slow down the user experience. However, the JPEG format allows you to adjust file size when you export your Illustrator graphics in this format. Now, this is known as a lossy compression method because some color information is discarded or lost when the file is saved. The amount of discarded information is determined on a sliding scale from 0 to 100. The lower the number, the smaller the file size, but the less detailed the image. And of course, the higher the number, the larger the file will be, and it will have more detail. Now, determining how much information to keep will vary greatly on the graphics themselves, and you may have to experiment with different amounts to get the best results. Next, we'll look at the Gif format. Now, this raster image file type goes back a long way, and its pronunciation is still debated. However you choose to pronounce it, the Gif format does not support as many colors as JPEG. In fact, is limited to only 256 colors for a single file. Now, this makes the Gif format better suited for solid color graphics like buttons, icons, or logos. While limited in color support, the Gif format does support transparent pixels, meaning that you can display GIF files with transparent backgrounds on top of or in front of existing backgrounds and graphics. The GIF format also differs from JPEG because it uses a lossless data compression method to reduce file size without a loss in visual quality. With fewer colors to describe and a lossless compression method, GIF files are often smaller than their JPEG counterparts. Finally, the GIF format will also support simple animation. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, Adobe Illustrator cannot export animated GIFs directly. The last file type we will discuss is the Png format. Now, once again, this is a raster file type, and it's perhaps the best of the three. Png files support millions of colors just like the JPEG format, but they use a lossless compression method to reduce the file size without affecting visual quality. Now, they also support transparent pixels, but they produce a much smoother transparent edge than a comparable GIF file. Perhaps the only downside to the Png format is the lack of support by older web browsers. So before you choose to export your Illustrator graphics in this seemingly amazing format, consider your audience. If they're using outdated web technologies, they may not be able to see your beautifully designed web graphics in the Png format. Hopefully, this gives you a better understanding of each of these file formats available from Adobe Illustrator and what each one is best suited to do. Now, my suggestion would be to try exporting all three using the same Illustrator graphic, but with different variations in the quality settings. Compare the results in a web browser looking at image quality versus file size to determine the best option for your graphics.